What is dangerous to forget? The master password to your digital vault. People have lost hundreds of millions of dollars from forgotten passwords. I feel like I have internalized my master password in the same way that I have internalized the alphabet or simple math. I think I could get amnesia and it will be one of the things that I'll still remember. What you are allergic to. There was a guy on Reddit that said though he was allergic to shellfish. He loved it. Said he used to take Benadryl before he'd have any. That stopped helping after a while. So he'd just bring his EpiPen when he went out for crab. Haven't heard any more from him in quite a while. My brothers and I are allergic to shellfish, but one of my brothers couldn't let it go because he loved shrimp, so he kept eating it every few years to see if he was still allergic. His lips would balloon up like Jinx and we would tell him what an idiot he was, but about 2 years ago, he stopped being allergic. The rest of us are still allergic. He is younger than me, but I now get anaphylaxis from being around someone cooking shellfish these days. Which is apparently pretty rare. So his is gone and mine is a lot worse. You have absorbed his powers. Whether or not you took your meds for the day. I can never remember if I did so to keep from taking them twice. I got one of those containers with a box for each day. Doesn't help me remember to take them though. That the beautiful wild animal is still a wild animal. But cheetah look like big kitty. And bear look like fluffy dog. Bears break my heart. They're so adorable. So adorable. But they all want me to die. Cleaning out your dryer vents regularly. If they become completely blocked, it can lead to a house fire. Mute and turn off the camera when you are done interviewing. Tell that to Robert Durst. To turn off gas stove. There's a Simon and Garfunkel song about an old man that lives by himself and is very antisocial. One night he leaves the gas on, leaves the windows closed, and dies in his sleep. That the handle of the frying pan you stuck in the oven will be violently hot if you don't use an oven mitt to pull it out. Or if you forget the handle is still hot after pulling the pan out and walking away for 10 minutes. That you had something in the oven. Or the toaster. My sister once said to me, "Can you check the bread I put in the toaster?" When I opened the kitchen door, the smoke was so intense. I couldn't see more a couple of feet. Turns out, she put bread in the defective toaster some 20 minutes before asking me. It only took 2 hours to get rid of the smoke and a mere 2 weeks to get rid of the smell. That you're driving. Oh, it. Thanks for reminding me. I had a coworker that used to joke that he would never text and drive. Only send work emails. Really funny guy. Great turnout at his memorial. Do not put water on a grease fire. Do not put water on a grease fire. It will make the fire grow. If you have a grease fire, place a metal lid or flat pan over the source of the fire to deprive it of oxygen. Turn off the heat source. If you can't do a lid, pour baking soda on it. Installing a carbon monoxide detector. Oh, I need one of those. Plot twist, you already bought one but forgot because of amnesia from CO2 CO poisoning. Under the right circumstances, electricity can kill you instantly. And unless you're an electrician, you probably don't know what the right circumstances are. That you shouldn't just mix whatever cleaning supplies you have available. Some of it can form a deadly gas and kill you ASAP. Ammonia and chlorine bleach specifically. A very real danger. Also, don't put bleach cleaner in your toilet bowl without flushing. There's some ammonia in your waste. And even though it probably won't kill you, it probably won't feel good. Keeping good dental hygiene really bites you later on if you're not careful. I grew up in a household that didn't teach dental hygiene. 32 and on Wednesday I start my first of 6 procedures to get my mouth fixed. $6,000 worth of work. So nervous, but so excited for the future. When the warning label on something reads inflammable, it means that it's highly flammable, it will burn easily, not otherwise. Flammable and inflammable are synonyms. This is a primary example of the stupidity of the English language. Unsubscribe before free trial ends. Your parachute. You don't need a parachute to skydive, you just need a parachute to skydive twice. It's hard to argue with that assessment. Stranger danger. It's a term used to keep kids aware of the dangers seemingly well-meaning people can pose. But the warning should extend into adulthood as well. There are con artists and murderers out there preying on our hope that there's an intrinsic good nature in every human being. Be aware. Be safe. It's good to be a helpful person. But look out for warning signs that there's a con or bad motive coming from the stranger in front of you. Nowadays they're trying to change it to tricky people. As in, an adult should never need a child's help. So if they ask for it, they're certainly trying to trick you. The face of your father. That never ends well. Stares in Gunslinger. That you're not wearing the pants with the keys but went to the store in your joggers for like once in your life because you were hungover. Because then when you get back and stand outside your door like a proper fool you realize that your phone is still in your apartment as well. Not that it would matter too much since your flatmate would sleep through a civil war and probably won't wake up for hours. Did you end up getting in the house or did you have to start your life over with nothing but the joggers? I repurposed the joggers into a tent and have set up a small shop outside the building that was formerly my residence. I make a living out of selling leeks that I have grown out of the groceries I went out to get that fateful day. It's been 5 years. My flatmate has not woken up yet. That you're not immune to propaganda. The amount of people who think they're too smart to fall for propaganda is scary AF. Those are exactly the type of people who are good propaganda targets. Sure, you might see the simple stuff but anything worth its shit, it's getting you. My husband's aunt is always going on about digital safety etc. etc. Don't get scammed. Don't keep your passwords anywhere that people can find them. Blah blah blah. Guess who gets scammed more than anyone else in the family? Person facepalming. History. If there's one thing we've learned from history, it's that we don't learn from history. Every history teacher ever. Which pedal is the go pedal and which is the stop? Nuclear launch codes. In the 50s to 80s the code was O. Stop, drop, and roll. Most people learn this in kindergarten. Then don't retain the info and end up running when they catch on fire. Making everything much worse. Learning that as a kid I always thought catching on fire was gonna be a way more common occurrence. Your baby is in the backseat of the car. The amount of parents who forget their kids are still in the car after they lock it and roll their windows up is honestly horrifying. Especially here in Florida. Cars turn into ovens and will practically fry your infant child inside out. I can't even handle driving with the windows down with no AC. I couldn't imagine what it's like for a small infant who's still strapped in to be sweating and crying for someone to get them out. I couldn't imagine the physical pain of coming back and your child isn't moving and is in a pool of sweat. I was told once before that if you have a baby in your backseat put your shoes in the back with the baby and drive barefoot cause you're not going to go into the store without your shoes. And when you go to get your shoes you'll realize you also have the baby back there. That putting a croissant in the microwave for 20 minutes has a different effect than it being in an oven for 20 minutes. I like how specific this one is. To be humble. You'll lose plenty of friends otherwise. That rights aren't granted to us by the government but are supposed to be insured through them. The new toilet paper roll when you go for AS in your house. Alone. The first thing you bring to a new house should be toilet paper. The last thing should be toilet paper as well. Don't invade Russia in the winter. My birthday. That the gun is loaded. You should always treat it like it is loaded. Your wedding anniversary. Got mine coming up on May 30th. Not gonna get caught off guard this time. Your girlfriend's birthday. That these olives are not pitted. Oh god, I have capped teeth and this made me shudder. That behind the usernames are actual living people on the other side of the screen. I can't believe how toxic people, even myself, can be. Would we say things like that to strangers IRL? No? Then don't do online either. It's really tough to grasp that you're playing with another person who's trying to get away from the stresses of life. Someone not that different than you. Especially after the third time he spawn kills you. That history repeats itself. That it's possible to die the next minute. Well, isn't that just GRE? RIP. How to breathe. I once forgot how to breathe. It was horrible but it was a breathtaking experience. Gasp. There is always a shark behind you. It might be thousands of miles away but there is one behind you at all times. This one became unsettling real fast. Pick up the kids from school.